everyone. Today we start with Achieve 3000 7 stars many stories. I make up this motion that's called This has believed that shared human stories be across all the world are more important than the differences. As the proposition, we agree with this motion as WSDC debate. We start this. So imagine here. Humans. What does this matter? What does this matter to humans? So, human stories matter, right? Think of a night sky. In Achieve 3000, it shows you a picture of a night sky, which shows 7 stars of the world. Look at the night sky, and what do you see in the picture? See 7 stars. What do we call them, actually? Some of us might call it Big Dipper, Block, 7 Sage. But for the semi-free people, also called Hunter's Bow or enslaved in America, they may be called the Drinking Sword or Gourd. There's some of the names, but it shares something very similar that we might not really clearly understand, but it shows something that we always have a grip inside our heart, which is truly have a different meaning. Let's start this. So if we start with definition. This definition here was shared human stories. Means shared with myths, shares about meaning, about their culture, about their understanding of the world. These are some things like stories, right? Or something very philosophically important to their own world itself. It's knowledge, stuff. They might share about the survival world, the hope of family and fear and identity differences. These are like differences, and all these are actually stories but you might want to share. Okay, second is differences. So differences means that you're different. It's not like that, but it's kind of unique from each other. Like each of us have unique DNA, right? This means that each DNA is absolutely different. We're not absolutely the same. Like for example, if I compare me to my best friends, she has short hair, I have long hair. The DNA is different because it tells her to have short hair and I have long hair. So each of us has a different perspective that makes us absolutely different and unique. But the one who connected us have some meaning to help us to be not to confuse, but to help us to connect and understand. Let's start with our framing. To clarify, meaning that we're not saying that differences don't matter. We're saying the differences do matter, but in a basic different way. In a human level, which is increasingly and critically important. We'll start with our first argument here, is that shared stories reveal universal humanity. As I showed you the 7 stars earlier, it might not have really credible meaning if you see all the 7 stars were there. Right? But this is a different star, what they call the Big Dipper, which is actually known in science. Here, if you look at it, the 7 star itself, ask the question, why do this so much culture? Why? But because it's meaningful. And humans were wired in the same way. They look for meaning, they look for guidance, they look for comments, they look for people connections. And cultures divide some of the groups to be the same as some of us. Some of us were looking the same. But we are underestimating ourselves of looking exactly the same. The same hate culture, or same differences of same voice. But the thing is, we're showing about the culture. Culture has something meaning. Like, for example, if we were the one in samurai, maybe show some culture about angriness or some kind of that stuff. For example, in India, there were stars. They show us stars. There was actually something of the wise sages looking at them. Secondly, about the U.S. of exploitation and also some of the slaves trying to escape. They show them all these stars were guardians. They want to look for freedom, right? Second, there is a Sami culture. This is where it tells about the story of survival and balance between humanity itself and food balance. Wow, you might say, wow, think of the stories as different. I'm not saying this is the same. It's not random. The thing here, they are both all of them were scared of something similar like us. They want wisdom, they want survival, they want freedom like us. They want emotional stability with them. And humans are similar in some parts. Like humans are similar, like they want all the health and wisdom to themselves. And we want the way that we can guide ourselves into the future without causing too much harm or stability or instability. That's what we all connected onto. Connected about a scaredness of what we might do or what this world might change. So that's why we showed that humanity is actually important. We did not always have to look at the surface and say that judging people are absolutely helped. Second argument is that the shared story of builds empathy for different people. Asking yourself, why do you tell the second argument that shared stories build empathy? Because what does it matter anyway? Because it shows us how we see people. I learned about emotional in SLS. It tells something about this person. Like, if you saw a bully, look straight. Try to look straight into his heart. And what did you see? You might see on the outside. He's tough, he wants to bully you, and you're scared, right? But if you look deep inside, some of them might have a word jealousy, or some of them might have emotional pain that was building them from coming to reality, or from being like, I really want this so much, I'm so scared, I want to make myself bigger because I am eternity. We show you that we are different, and if we are just continuing removing that connection, we will not create distance. But not like us, where stages and culture is not forgotten. It will feel recognized, it's shared themselves with each other. This helps us to be survivals. It shows us the hope and the meaning of each of us can do in argument number 1 and argument number 2. Also, realization creates empathy that will help us. It shows us empathy and make a foundation of peaceful cooperation, human communication, which is talking, okay, or understanding. It's pretty important. But if we remove this connection, then we make wars, not peace. Misunderstanding, which more deeper, and it does matter, and it's hurt. And victims of all this war, or maybe the victims for all this misunderstanding, feels vulnerable. Even though they were vulnerable, but still be attacked. This is the sad ways that we have to make them do it. So let's reframe the debate to the conclusion here. Whereas not choosing between diversity or just saying that we're good enough. We're saying that unity have to come first, than just saying we're different from each other. That's why we so choose that this life we want to connect, we want to understand similarities. And in conclusion, humans matter, and cultures matter, and everything from this achieved doctrine shows just the connection, and shows from cultures and meanings and different impacts on what it could do. And this we just want to say to this the opposition, connect with us, and help them to try to make them less misunderstanding. Thank you.